Hello, my name is Maria Schmitz. Welcome today to the naturalness of the supernatural in regions like Africa and the Caribbean. In his book, Chronicler of the Winds, Henning Mankell wrote the story of a street child. This is what Nelio, a 10-year-old street child, says about his life. Lying on the roof of an African house with a bullet wound, he knows he will die when his story is over. He tells how the bandits raided his village, massacred his sister, and tried to force him to kill his relatives. How he escaped, found his way to the big city, and became the leader of a gang of street kids. More importantly, his story is about the lives of these poor children. About Mandioca, who grows tomatoes and onions in his pockets. About the secret of wealth and a nocturnal visit to the president. And about the paradise that is not marked on any map and yet can be found. As the saying goes, in Germany too, one is a chip off the old block, or, like father, like son. During his years in Africa, Mankell observed that death is part of life there. So this attitude in Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean is a very telling sign of ancestry. Mankell goes on to say that Europeans have separated life and death. It is frightening how our culture makes a mystery of death. He thinks this is a weakness of European culture. In Africa, he had seen how people dealt with death in a mature way, so he was not afraid to die. In this video, I would like to support these findings with three short stories or even incidents. You can decide which is which. The phenomenon is also reflected in the literature of the region, as in Olive Senior's Join the Dots on YouTube since August 27th, 2022. For those of you who do not know the story, here it is again in just 2 short minutes. We played at Join the Dots, Grandma and me, but never could we win the prize. For I saw pictures she could not see. They said I had clear-seeing eyes. Our house was built on land where once a village stood, where fragments floating in the air sometimes cried out for personhood. They pounded on the rooftop, tore at the gutter. Hush, it is the wind. Grandma said, but I knew better, though I would never utter a word, for I was sworn to secrets. This is where we once lived too, the children said. We'd like to play with you. When I could not sleep for black dots floating, Grandma said, hush, I'll bring you cocoa tea sweetened with cane sugar and a bit of nutmeg. That will calm you down. I tried to share it with my ghostly friends who said they lived in land snail shells and sailed all night the village round. Their old one said, no, you drink up, child, for this our bodies turned to dust, ground into fields of sugar cane, of cocoa walks, of nutmeg groves. Drink in remembrance of us. I'd drain the cup. The cocoa, cane sugar, the nutmeg touched me so sweetly. I'd sleep long, sleep deeply. Story number 2 is taken from Cedella Marley's account in the book Bob Marley, An Intimate Portrait by His Mother. They traveled the world with him after he was shot in Jamaica, and after he died, his mother had at least 2 visions of him. He has appeared to other people as well. When he marvels that you can be here 1 minute and miles away the next, it reminded me of a dream I had of my own father after he died, where he was in a hammock on a bright sunny day and told me he was now going to travel the world. To tell you about my own dreams and experiences with the supernatural would be a longer story that I won't go into. Recently, we also had Jonathan S. Coffrey's Tales of Dappies, which were more humorous. So we've had a literary example, a true story, and a more humorous example. All told with the same degree of naturalness. My own father, who wasn't one to talk about ghosts, told me that he had seen his father in the hospital. It so happens that he was the 7th child and was named after his father. I think I was the only visitor that day who believed him.